Today I'm travelling north into another country to fill a little empty space on my route map, Scotland. Dumfries and Galloway, that's where my next adventure will take place. 380 miles of adventure awaits me, and what happens next? Well, only time will tell. I'm starting at the border between England and Scotland at Gretna Green. The River Sark marks this historic border. This is the first village in Scotland most famous for weddings. After the 1754 Marriage Act, couples under 21 couldn't marry in England or Wales without their parents' consent, but it was still legal in Scotland, so couples began crossing the border into Scotland to tie the knot.
Scotland. I thought I'd better get one Scotland trip before the winter kicks in. So a nice 380 mile loop that I've put together all around Galloway. Should be fun, and we might have the first, I won't say bad weather, but testing weather for sure. But it has been a long journey to get to the start in Gretna at the border. So it's already 5 PM, so it's not going to be a big day right now. It's just going to be getting into the route, finding somewhere nice to camp, because has anyone else noticed that sun gets lower in the sky much earlier right now? Winter's on its way.
After a long journey up to Scotland this evening, I would just find myself settling into the ride, warming up them legs. It felt like only yesterday that I was coming through these parts on my BMX. With the days getting shorter though, I had a plan to get up to the top of the first set of hills on this route. After sitting on a train for 8 hours, it's certainly one way of getting some life back into them legs.
Right, my plan I think is going to work, because my bike is down there. I reckon I can camp somewhere around here. I am heading over that way, and there are some trees there, but it doesn't look like the type of woods that I want to camp in. Not sure if it's going to rain tonight. It probably will, so I'm hoping I can just find somewhere like down here, up here somewhere. But let's go and rescue my bike. I can be bothered to lug it all the way up here, so the bike doesn't get the view. Only I do. I don't want to go too much further because I'll end up in Dumfries, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather go through there tomorrow morning, have breakfast there, and then into the countryside. But for now, I reckon somewhere around here should be fine. So I think it's possible down there's some trees, there's a little stream or river, and that's where I'm going. I could possibly camp there, and it looks quite a good little spot because I could get some water and stuff, but I won't have a good view. Possibly at the top of this bit of the hill I can have this as a view. Do I want water or do I want a view? Who knows? Let's see how good the ground is up here, because I think it looks pretty good. And as you can see, there's kind of a lip here, so if I can be in the middle, if the wind is coming from here, it should be quite good. Shouted. However, if the wind's coming from there or there, it'll be like a tunnel, but the wind is coming from there, so at least at the moment. See, this ground is quite good, fairly flat. Oh, I don't know, who knows. Wow, good morning, and wow, as you can see, I am waking up in a cloud. It has been raining pretty much all night. It's not very heavy rain, it's just sort of misty rain and stuff, but yeah, it looks like today the views might not be there, and it might just be a very wet one. It's about 6 AM, sun is rising now, so I'm gonna get packed up and head out into it. I've got about 10 miles until I get to Dumfries, where I'll probably grab a bit of breakfast before really starting to get into this route. But yeah, looks like today and tomorrow might be a bit like this at least. Oh well, let's go have some fun in the wet weather.
Packing up the wet tent this morning marked my first real day on the trails. The trails consisted mostly of wet, grassy fields, surrounded by thick fog. It was a slow-going morning, with a few of the trails making me get off and push my way through them. These thick, overgrown, grassy trails would only lead me to encounter my first obstacle on this adventure.
So many fallen trees. Wow, no. I think it might not be possible to get through there. A lot of fallen trees. What's going on at the moment? So many fallen trees. It's not been windy, has it? Thing is, the trail goes like through here, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get through. Not without a bike, not with the bike. Maybe I can scramble around here. Ooh. Let's have a look. Don't look fun. Not the greatest start to this ride, but I don't know what it is at the moment. So many fallen trees. There's this trail here. It goes through the woods, so hopefully it goes to somewhere that I need to go.
Luckily for me, I was able to find my way around. I think them trees had actually been down a while. The diversion I took seemed to be taken by many. So now I was back on my way through the thick fog, but at least on some nice gravel tracks, for now, and on my way for a flying visit to Dumfries.
Well, I have slowly but surely made it to Dumfries, and it's time for breakfast. Got some pasta. It's looking like on this trip I'm gonna have one dry day, possibly. Today is gonna rain the whole day. Around 8-9 o'clock it might stop. It might not rain throughout the night, which is nice, but it means all day I am going to be getting very, very wet. I'm going to be heading down to the coast. I guess it's an estuary really, isn't it? Soon, but first I'm going to eat this. I've only done like 10 miles this morning. 12 miles. It's taken absolutely ages. 12 miles in 2.5 hours.
It had taken ages this morning to make any progress, so I was keen to get going again. By the time I got back on the trails, that misty rain was now no longer that. I was well and truly embracing the wet life. Pedalling my way up and down the forest tracks, still steeped in thick fog. On a clear day I'd be able to see the Lake District, over Nith Estuary. Today, however, just thick fog and of course, rain, rain, rain.
Still raining, of course, but I'm making good progress just through the endless forest tracks, up and down. The rain's not too bad really, because it's still kind of warm, but I've done about 30 miles so far today, so very happy so far. It's coming up to midday. The problem is when it rains, it's really hard to get the motivation to actually stop, because there's very little places to sort of sit and enjoy the views, especially today because there aren't any. But I should be coming down sort of towards where like the estuary, the coastline is soon, and we'll see. Normally you'd get a good view of the Lake District, but I have a feeling probably won't be able to see that today. Kind of annoying issue. I need to go that way and it says road closed. this guy just stopped. I think he was a vicar. He lives locally, so I asked him if I can get through, and he says he's not sure because the road is all subsided, and they're fixing it now apparently. So he did say you could always go and see, but I'm not sure. The problem is if I do take the detour, it's quite long and it's kind of like out of the way, and if I'll kind of miss a lot of the off-road section that I've plotted. So I don't know if to just sort of test it, go down there, see if I can get through, possibly just walk where they're fixing if they'll let me. If not, I might just have to come back and miss that bit. But it's a bit annoying because this bit's like quite nice and it's going to be into some more forests and some mountain bike trails and stuff, so a bit of a pain. But I don't really want to take the detour, because if I take the detour, go all the way around and back, then I'm just sort of pointlessly coming back. So I think I'm going to test my luck and just follow through where it says road closed, and hopefully either they'll let me through or they're finished working. There's a few cars that have gone back and forth, but they probably just live between here and where they're working, so I don't know. But still raining. Will they be around here? As with like 99% of road closed signs, you can get past on a bike, and luckily I could get past on a bike. They're all just chilling out, drinking tea, and that was it. It was basically yeah, straight through, easy.
With another obstacle passed, I would head into Dalbeattie Forest, where it would be more detours to avoid the forestry work going on at the time. This stuff only ever happens when it's non-stop rain, I'm sure. And that rain was getting increasingly heavier.
I've just come through Dalbeattie, and it is really coming down now. The vicar guy that I was talking to earlier was saying that this is like the first rain they've had pretty much in like 2 months. Like July and August there was basically no rain, and this is like the first rain they've had, and certainly making up for it. Most of the morning it wasn't too bad. It was mostly just sort of a light shower, constant but light. Now it's quite relentless. Just doing a bit of hiker bike because it's kind of a bit sheltered here with the trees. Had to make a few little detours through the forest because they were doing forest works. Oh my god, this rain, I hope it stops at some point. I mean, things to remember while cycling in the rain. It's only so wet you can get. It's got to stop at some point, right? Right? Not again. What is it with all the down trees lately? Another lot. Hopefully I can get through. Ah, oh, come on. Oh, so many. Ah. I don't think I can get through down there. Of all the days that there's trees down, it's when it will not stop raining. I'm quite tempted to just try and get up here and then possibly just hike along there. I don't know if that's an actual trail. Maybe I'll go check it out first before lugging the bike up there, and then hopefully I can get around. If I leave you bike here, and then hopefully you stay and we hike. I have no idea if it's going to be like a trail or what up here. It might just be bog, but it might save me having to find a completely another way. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be possible. Just nah, don't think so. Oh my god. Oh my god. Right, back to the drawing board again. This way's looking a bit promising. I was over there in them trees. It's kind of going in the right direction, hopefully. And it's a bit annoying because I was very close to the top of that hill and I've got to push up it again.
With the trees seemingly giving me all the trouble today, once I'd found my way back to a forest track, I started to head out of the forest and down towards the coastline. And as I did this, something I didn't expect happened. That endless rain finally started to stop, and perfect timing it was, as I could now start to dry out and pedal my way towards the coastline. Finally, I'd be able to see further than a few meters in front of me and enjoy the beautiful, rugged Scottish coastline views.
Time to dry. It's finally stopped raining, although over there doesn't look too promising, and that is the direction I am going in. So if it feels like it's going to start raining, I'm not going any further until that rain cloud is gone, because I am finally starting to be a bit drier. Oh my god, I can actually feel the rain. Nope, we'll just wait here until it goes.
I took shelter for a little while under some trees as I watched the heavy showers come and go for the next 30 minutes or so. If I could stay dry before camp, that's exactly what I was going to do. And getting back on my bike, with not much daylight left, I cycled into the sunset in search for my bed for tonight. The days come to an end just so much faster this time of year.
Wow, I've made it. Somehow survived the day, and I've managed to find a nice spot to camp. Just kind of letting the wind dry it out. Sun is just setting over there. That was a one of them days where it's character building, should we say. But I'm amazed actually that I'm finishing today and I'm pretty much dry. So happy that it stopped raining a little bit earlier than I had thought it was going to. The weather forecast said it wasn't going to stop till like 7. It actually stopped about 3:30, 4. So that was good. So I managed to dry out. Tent is drying out, and I've got about 295-ish miles to go. So good first day, first proper day anyway, and I'm ready to sleep. I think tomorrow might be another wettish one, hopefully not as bad as today, but then the day after, if it's still the same, is meant to be the day where it's not too wet. So I'm hoping at least one day I can have where it's dry, but we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, in the distance back there, there's some clouds come in. Hopefully they're not rain clouds, but they probably will be. If anything, like last night, I'll get into this tent and it will start raining straight away. But as always, I'll see you bright and early in the morning for day 2. It's really nice out here. It's kind of like magical. All the low fog. Not really fog, is it? Oh, it's really nice. I slept really well last night. I pretty much got into the tent and just slept all night. It rained for about 10 seconds. That was about it. It was definitely, I can definitely say though, the temperature has turned. It's a little bit chilly this morning, a little bit fresh getting out of that tent, but it is really, really beautiful around here. And as far as I can tell, at least above me right now, look how clear that sky is. I mean, I am surrounded by clouds over there and clouds over there, but in this little bubble where I am right now, I'm going to enjoy it because it's blue skies. The stars are out last night. I've probably got like 10 miles or so until I get to a shop. So it's like going to be a perfect morning, right? Right? Hopefully no fallen trees or anything. But yeah, it's day 2. Let's go and see what today has in store for us.
Waking up this morning, low mist surrounding my tent in my own little bubble of peace and tranquility. While I didn't have to contend with any fallen trees this morning, I did have to deal with an army of cows. With the morning sun feeling great, I arrived at Kirkcudbright just as the sun was rising over the small town sitting on the River Dee. It's just 6 miles from the Irish Sea, known as an artist town because visitors come to draw and paint the charming harbour and quaint buildings. It was a perfect spot to sit and enjoy breakfast. I soaked up the warmth of the sun, especially welcome as the mornings were starting to feel a bit colder this time of year. After breakfast, I would follow along the River Dee back inland. After some time, the flatter miles would start to turn into some lumpy miles, with a little hiker bike here and there, but the difference a day makes. It might have been getting steeper and more tiring, but the views were wide open today, miles upon miles of wide open, rugged Scottish landscape to enjoy.
It is so much nicer, so much more calming when you can just ride in this perfect temperature. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, there's a nice gentle breeze. It's not pissing down with rain. It's just a much more manageable and enjoyable experience. I don't mind the rain, really, but it's a bit annoying when you have to like camp and stuff. But nearly at the top of this climb, and then there's a few more climbs to get to a place I think it's called Cree Town, Cree something. I'll probably stop there and have some food and stuff, but so far today, lush, no fallen trees, just some nice long climbs.
My journey through Galloway was really starting to open up now, the landscape becoming vast and beautiful as I made my way through this stunning part of Scotland, with rolling hills stretching endlessly in every direction. Just over 100 miles into my adventure, and ahead of me stood the impressive Big Water of Fleet Viaduct. Built back in 1861 as part of the old Portpatrick Railway, the Big Water of Fleet Viaduct is a large, disused single-track viaduct constructed of granite. At just over 900 feet long, 69 feet tall, with 20 arches, it's impressive rolling up to it. Closed in 1965, now it just sits there in the middle of nowhere. It is an incredible piece of engineering, surrounded by nothing but wild Scottish countryside.
Oh, what a day so far today. I tell you what, I have done nearly 40 miles, 38 miles, and every single one of them miles it's just been absolutely pure joy. It is that time of the day where it's time for lunch, and I found it, the macaroni pie. And it's also that time to start drying the tent, because it would be nice to have a dry tent to get into tonight. The macaroni pie. It's the first one I've seen in Scotland so far. So good.
Making use of the sun to dry the tent and the classic macaroni pie for energy today, when I got back on my bike, I would need that energy just to get up the hill onto the cycle path that looks over the River Cree, before heading into Galloway Forest Park. Galloway Forest Park, full of endless gravel tracks, mountain bike trails, and apparently the one and only rain cloud in the area.
Raining. Just going to shelter here. It's only going to last for about an hour, so an hour at most. So it should be passing. It should just be a quick downpour, and then we'll be back to the most perfect day, won't we? I can't be bothered to ride in it, even though it is only an hour. Stay as dry as possible, and I've got a nice little spot to enjoy the river. Not again! Oh, I think the problem is I'm riding into this rain cloud. It's so annoying. I keep sort of outrunning it and then it catches me up again. I just want to be dry for a whole day. It is really chucking it down though. What is this shenanigans? Big spiky thing. No idea.
Between the showers, riding through Galloway Forest was a little magical today. The intimidating looking clouds lingering in the sky, but the sun kept sneaking its way through. Every turn around the forest tracks would reveal a new view, a new experience to add to this adventure. From testing long climbs that had me working hard, to sweeping long descents where I could just let go and fly. Then there were these epic exposed views over lochs stretching out into the distance. Of course, the moment I'd get comfortable, I'd be jumping under the tree cover to hide from the next shower. It's funny how putting my jacket on was the key to making the sun shine.
Wow, what a day, what a day. It's currently 7 PM, so I've really got to start looking to find somewhere to camp, because sunset's actually at 8 PM. So early. Got used to it being like 10. I've done about 66 miles, probably going to end up hitting the 70 mark. The sun is back out again, happy days. And actually there's barely a cloud, at least in the direction I'm going. I really do need to crack on and find somewhere to camp now. Everywhere is soaking wet. It's been a good day though. It is definitely slowed down the last 20 or so miles, partly because I keep hiding from the rain, partly because it's hilly. Beautiful, but hilly. Alright, see you at camp.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, it's not currently raining, which is good. It did absolutely hammer it down in the night. Looking fairly nice, and a little bit chilly. Had to ride into the night a little bit last night because it just could not find anywhere to camp. Got this little spot here. It's not the greatest spot, it's a bit lumpy. Sometimes you think like Scotland should be like the easiest place to camp, especially wild camping, because you know you're allowed to do it, so it should afford you more opportunities to wild camp. But a lot of the ground and stuff is not always ideal. The woods are always pretty much forestry woods, so you can't really camp in them. But I ended up doing about 80 miles last night, so that's good. I've got about 20 miles until I get to like the coast, and then a little bit of riding along the coast, and then I'm going to be sort of turning back in. Now when I made this route, don't ask me why, but I progressively made it to get harder and harder as the route goes on. So although today should be mostly kind of similar difficulty as like the last 2 days, it's going to start ramping up. I'm going to put the elevation profile on screen because it's like a big, to go up to the highest point is like 4 little climbs and then 1 massive climb. Now that massive climb is probably in about 100 miles, so I don't think I'm going to quite get there today, but I want to get as close as possible. Hopefully, fingers crossed, toes crossed, tomorrow I'll be able to go over it, and hopefully it won't be like raining and stuff. Last time I checked, it wasn't raining tomorrow. Today and tomorrow were meant to be just sort of a bit overcast and cloudy, so if I can get most of the really hard stuff, or at least the hardest part, done tomorrow, then fingers crossed it shouldn't be too bad. But I'm waking up a bit late because I was just so sleepy. I think it's about 6:30, 6:45 now, so I better get a move on. Got about 20 miles to get to the coast. I'm just going to crack them first few miles out as fast as possible because it should be mostly plain sailing and just rolling hills, but it's when I turn back where all the hills will start. Right, out into that we go. Let's hope no more rain.
Day 3 of my bikepacking adventure around Galloway had a chill in the air this morning, so getting on the bike and pedalling to help warm up was much needed. But just like yesterday, it was another beautiful morning with the low mist and sun rising up behind me as I made my way towards the coast. I cycled around Black Loch with Castle Kennedy, a mansion house built in 1607. After a very peaceful pedal around here, I was going to make my way down to the coast. Well, I say the coast, but first I would make my way alongside Loch Ryan. This massive sea loch stretches about 8 miles long and 3 miles wide, providing a natural sheltered anchorage in southwest Scotland. It's the main gateway between Scotland and Northern Ireland.
Where I am right now is pretty much where I wanted to camp last night, which is where I wanted to get to at least, because I mean, these views, imagine this camp spot, it's even like a perfect little bit of ground there as well. With these views, you can see Northern Ireland just in the distance, you can see another part of Scotland in the distance over there, and a very interesting looking rock which I have no idea what it is, but it looks pretty cool. I am coming up. I'm pretty thirsty right now. I've run out of water. I haven't really seen any streams, but I'm pretty close to where I'm going to stock up on some supplies. It's called Ballantrae. I have no idea if that's how it's pronounced, but it's probably not. No idea. But I'm probably about 5 or 6 miles from there. I'm going to stop off and grab some supplies and everything, because after there isn't much in the way of places to restock until, well, probably a good maybe 100 miles. Maybe it's like after the big climb, then there's like one more climb, and then there's the next shop. So I don't know, but we'll make sure I stock up there. But I mean, look at it up here. It's beautiful, and we're dry, and we get to go downhill now.
I made it down off the cliff tops down to Ballantrae to learn that interesting looking rock in the distance is none other than Ailsa Craig. Name Ailsa Craig, it's thought to derive from the Gaelic word meaning fairy rock. It rises steeply to an elevation of 1,114 feet, and its rock has been used to make curling stones. Formed from a volcanic plug from a long extinct volcano believed to be over 500 million years old.
What a lovely place. Don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a lovely, lovely place. So nice that it was not raining as well, so I was able to dry the tent, have some food, and honestly I could have sat there for days. I didn't really want to move because now I'm gonna head towards the highest point. Like I said, probably not gonna get there today, but it's basically 4, call them ramps, and then the big one. So I'm going to try and get over as many of them 4 climbs as possible. So it's basically all uphill for the next, I don't know, like 40, 50 miles. Should be fun. Currently the weather forecast is all good today. It says it's going to get very windy tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll deal with that tomorrow. Now I gotta go up, up, up. First ramp is the smallest. Second, it gets a bit bigger. Third, gets a bit bigger. Fourth, gets a bit bigger. Fifth is the big one. Let's see how far we can get up these hills today.
Up to this point, my route around Galloway had been fairly straightforward, but now it was time to start getting to the harder, more remote, more rugged part of the adventure. It was time to climb. The gentle rolling hills and coastal paths were behind me now, and ahead lay some proper Scottish mountain terrain. I could see the hills rising in front of me, getting steeper and more challenging with each mile. This is where the real work would begin, and as I rised in elevation on the remote tracks, where I'd be completely on my own, or so I thought, I stumbled across a fairy village. I thought this was the perfect opportunity to make a wish, so I asked the fairies if they could please make all the hills ahead completely flat for the rest of my journey. I waited hopefully for a moment, listening to the wind through the trees, but apparently the fairies had other plans, because if anything, the hills seemed to get even steeper from that point on.
Well, 2 more to go, but the next one doesn't actually look too bad when I look at it a bit closer on the map. It's a bit of a steep slog to get onto it, but it doesn't go as high as the one I've just come over, and it's then flat on the top for a little bit, so you should be able to get a few easy-ish miles. But it is already 5 PM, just after 5 PM. Done about 60 miles so far today. I'm starting to think I am going to keep an eye out for somewhere to camp. I will definitely want to get over this next hill, and then possibly the next one as well. And that would put me down towards a place, well, a loch, what was it? Oh my god, I literally just read it, my mind is gone. Dune, think the idea is to try and get kind of close to there if possible, and hopefully be able to find somewhere to camp there. I don't know if there's anywhere to camp there, but I feel like that's the best bet. And then in the morning, get up nice and early, if I can force myself to wake up, and start the long old slog up to the highest point on this route, which I already know is gonna involve a bit of hiker bike, but hopefully it will be clear. I'll get some good views at the top, but for now I need to go find somewhere to camp, so let me get up this next hill and possibly the next one. My legs are seriously feeling it today.
With 2 climbs to go to reach the loch I wanted to camp at, I would have my work cut out for me. Time was running out fast, the nights were drawing in quicker each day, and these trails were getting increasingly slower to navigate. I was about to make my way through some seriously remote terrain, and there was nowhere around here that was good for pitching my tent. I had to get through this section. There was no choice. The light was fading with every minute that passed. This was about not getting caught out here in the dark with nowhere safe to stop. The clock was ticking, my legs were already tired from the day's riding, and ahead of me lay 2 brutal climbs through terrain that would test every ounce of energy I had left.
Oh my god. Now what? I've just been hiking since like, it must have been about 6 o'clock. It's currently 20 to 9. I've just come over like a massive climb and then descended, most of which was hiking. And I've got pretty close to the bottom. And these trees obviously are blocking the path, and there's not a chance I'm hiking for like 3 hours back now. No way, not in the dark. So I'm currently trying to find my way around the opposite side of this woodlands. Hopefully I can find a way to get like back onto the path where I was meant to be, but oh my god, what a nightmare. So it looks like I'm going to be hiking into the night. And yeah, obviously nowhere to camp. I would just put my tent up, but there literally is nowhere to camp. It's just bog everywhere. So I have to get through all this in the dark. I'll see you in the morning, hopefully.
Yesterday, I couldn't get down. I couldn't get around that woods and get down, especially in the dark. It was just like too sketchy. So I decided to go up because that was less sketchy, just really to try and find somewhere to camp. And also because in the direction I started heading up, there is a trail that goes down and back onto my route, but it means scrambling across to actually get onto it, which is not fun. It's not fast, but somehow luckily I found this miracle of a little rock on a hill, on a mountain, that I was able to magically be able to just about peg this tent down, the outer at least. So I had a bit of shelter last night. I just literally used my inner as like a bivvy, and yeah, I managed to sleep a bit. but the problem is because the pegs aren't exactly great, because it is a massive rock essentially. As soon as this wind started, every now and then a big gust would come and it was like, oh, is the tent gonna fly away? Luckily it's still here, it's still just about holding on, but it is starting to get light now, so I've got to make a decision if I'm gonna go up, keep going up to this this trail, which then I can eventually like follow it down and get back on track, or I go back down and see if it's possible to scramble down now it's daylight and I can see where my footing is a bit better, and you know, so gonna get this tent packed up. I'm not looking forward to today at all, because not only now have I got a hike to start, I've got to then hike up the next climb, which I was expecting to do that, but not expecting to have to do this part today. I mean, it's an absolutely incredible place to be able to camp, but it's not really what I wanted right now. But yeah, up or down, that is the decision. Up or down.
Trees down there behind me. This is where I was, so I'm meant to be like on the other side of them trees, down by the Loch Dune down there, but obviously the trees were falling down and I couldn't get past at all, because that whole woodlands section was just like completely flattened pretty much. So I've tried to come this way on the top of it to come down, because there is a stream and there is like a line where you can kind of follow it, and it's just not, it's not quite as tree. But my other alternative is basically up there, because that way, now looking at it even now, it just looks even harder than just going up there, because at least I don't have to deal with the trees. I have to deal with the heat, the hill, the elevation, but not all the trees. I'm going to try and sort of head towards that bit so I can get a bit of visibility, possibly be able to go down there, because there isn't, that's all been like chopped down, so maybe there's some like track down there. I don't know, we're going to just play it as it comes. Let's see what happens.
Waking up on what was essentially a rock in the middle of nowhere was not how I envisioned my morning, but there was something quite remarkable about waking up where I had. This tiny patch of rock, it was probably the only flat spot for miles that was even remotely suitable for a tent. Just about, at least. But now I needed to get back to work and find my way back on course. So carefully I made my way across all this bogland, making sure each footing was secure to walk on. It's very easy to roll an ankle out here. I made my way up to higher ground to see if I could see a way down and back onto course. And I could see a small gap that looked just about passable.
My route should be like in front of me in a minute. I should be able to continue. Hopefully, there's not more of this. You do not know what a sight that is to see. A gravel track. I'll tell you what I've learned. Some water. What time did I say I left? I'm not really sure, but it's currently just past 8 AM. Oh my god, that felt like a lot longer. I'm sure it was only like an hour, but man, we've just hiked around all that and down through all this crap. It seems so good to actually be able to ride. I'm surprised my bike is still working, to be honest. And now I gotta get a move on, because I gotta get over the highest point on this route. And you can see in the distance there's a lot of low clouds we'll definitely be going up in that. Let's hope there's no fallen trees. Yes, please, it's like a shoe wash. Next one. I'm not complaining because I put it on here myself, knowing it would be a hiker bike as well, but after this morning I'm really tempted just to go back. But I really do kind of want to go up there. It's the first push, like the first 2 or 3 miles up here. It's pretty steep, pretty tiring. I'm going to take the slightly easier option and not hike up this. I think it's just going to take too long. I've still got to get over another one today, which will probably be a bit hiker-bikey as well. But instead of going all the way back, I think with a little bit of hiking through all that bog, it looks like there is a forest track which then I can cut across back towards the road and then back onto the route around here, which isn't a massive detour, and it means I don't have to backtrack all the way around, because this hiker bike just kind of sucks, to be honest. After this morning I really can't be bothered. Okay, so what I'm hoping, if I can go down here a little bit, and I need to cross a river, well, a little stream, it's not that big, and then hopefully I can walk straight onto where the gravel track should, in theory, start. But it's a little bit awkward. But this morning has been nothing but awkward, so you know. So we gotta go all the way around.
After hours of leaving my rock this morning, I was practically back where I had started. After hours of moving, I had probably only covered 2 or 3 miles of my actual route. But nevertheless, I was now back to riding, and after some playing around with the map, I was back on track, and I would be heading into the endless gravel tracks once more, which meant I could get my head down and finally make some progress today.
I'm so tired today. I guess that's what happens when you're like constantly on edge, thinking your tent's gonna blow away every time a gust of wind comes. But finally got back on track. I've done I think I've done 50 miles, but most of that hasn't actually been back. It hasn't actually been on the route. So I'm not even sure how much miles I got left, but from here I am going to be heading obviously uphill, and kind of an interesting place at least, because it's the highest village in Scotland, and then when I get there I'm going even higher. But I think that's a road climb, and then it is off-road downhill. I might try and camp on the sort of downhill somewhere because I want to try and get an early night if possible, but got to go uphill. But I'm on the Iron Brew, and also 20p fruit. Lovely. So tired though, absolutely so tired. Most of the day I haven't actually been riding the route that I planned. I've just been detouring everywhere. Oh well, Iron Brew. Cheers.
With a much needed Iron Brew now flowing through my system, it was time to head to Scotland's highest village. Which was odd because I started going downhill to get there, at least at first anyway. And then I would enjoy a steady climb up Menock Pass, cycling alongside the stream as it flowed down towards me, the hills either side towering above me. After the day I had had so far, this was such a lovely climb, not overly steep, and most importantly, completely rideable. And it's nice that it finishes at Scotland's highest village, sitting at 1,531 feet above sea level. However, I would be going even higher tonight.
Very, very close to the top of this hill. It's very windy. Just over there, a little bit more, and then I'll be at the top. But there's this handy little shelter here. And although it's not going to rain, it is very windy. So I'm thinking I'm just going to hunker down on this bench tonight. Hopefully nobody else will want to come in here, but if they do, we can all snuggle together. 90 miles left to do, and I just think while it's really windy, instead of going and hopefully finding somewhere to camp, I might as well finish a little bit earlier today, seeing as I didn't yesterday. And it is already 7 o'clock already, so I've got about an hour until the sun sets. And also, if anyone desperately needs me, you can send me a helicopter. I've got a helipad there. But yeah, this is going to be my bed for tonight. Yeah, this will do nicely. Good morning. What a view to wake up to.
Some nice, we're going in that direction today. We're going up and over there. And the sky is at least looking quite nice at the moment. I think it says quite a high chance of it going to rain from about 3 p.m. though. So going to try and get as many miles done through until then. I've got about 90-ish to go, 85 probably. So I can't really finish today because I'll finish too late. So I might be able to have a fairly easy-ish day. And be able to stop before the rain, hopefully, but I don't know, we'll see. Got to go up this little bit, and I got a nice downhill, and then it's probably the first 20 miles are a little bit hard. Then there's a little bit challenging sections after, but then it's going to start leveling out, going to start gradually going down until we finally reach the Scottish-England border.
The last couple of days had been tough, so I had high hopes for an easier start today. Why wouldn't I? I was at a high point in this ride, the elevation profile showed downhill ahead. A perfect start to the morning seemed inevitable. Or so I thought. The terrain was steep, slow going, boggy, and up here, incredibly windy. Making progress was tough work. It wasn't nearly as enjoyable as the elevation profile suggested it would be. Most of my morning, I was lugging my bike up incredibly steep climbs. With a mixture of high winds, I wouldn't be riding my bike much at all. It was all very stop and start. But I just kept moving forward because I knew I was nearly at the point in this adventure where things were going to start getting a little easier.
I did say I made this route get progressively harder, right? It's taken 4 hours to do just under 10 miles. I can almost see a gravel track, which is where I should be headed next though. Ah, can't wait to descend this one. I don't know if you can even hear me, it's so bloody windy.
Even after getting over that last little climb, it would still be pretty slow going. All that rain over the last couple of days, making them trails nice and boggy. So by the time I made it to Moffat, I was well and truly ready for a break and a good lunch. And just in time for the rain to start again. Good for some, I guess.
Wow, it had to happen, didn't it, guys? Since the first day where it just rained all day, we've stayed dry, pretty much dry anyway, and now the rain has finally caught me and it's time to get wet. But the good news is I'm over most of the hard stuff now. I've got maybe 1 or 2 little climbs, but they should be actually rideable because today has been one long slog. I'm so glad I didn't want to do a big day today because there was no chance of me doing one. I've done like 20 miles and it's already about 1:30, maybe 2. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock already. I have just sat down and demolished loads of food for a while, but yeah, into the rain we go. Pretty much got to get over 2 sets of hills, big mountains. I don't know what you'd class them as, but once I'm through there, pretty much then on a nice downhill kind of trajectory, kind of. And do have to find somewhere to camp tonight as well. And I was looking on the map and I might have found a little bird hide. So while if it's going to be raining all day, all night, if it's open and no bird watchers are watching night birds, I might use that as a bit of shelter. We'll see as I get close to it, because that would mean probably doing about 30 odd miles. And I don't know, I just want to sit down and sleep. The hike this morning was very tiring, but let's go climb them hills. I can see them in the distance, they're waiting for me. Oh, you are kidding me. Another fallen tree. Nah, I'm joking. Well, I mean, it's technically a fallen tree. I think I can manage to get past this one.
My journey around Galloway was nearing its end, with just a couple more lumps in the road to get over. Some of them lumps were very steep though. Narrow, steep, loose, rocky trails between forest tracks. Scotland throwing some last challenges my way.
Wow, coming to an end now, over the last sort of hardish bit. And one thing's for sure, don't ever look at the elevation profile because it doesn't tell you the full story. Today has been relentless once again, but survived. And now I need to find somewhere to camp. I've got about 35 miles to go till I get back to Gretna. I'm about to turn back in that direction. So hopefully I can find somewhere either outside because the sun has now started to shine again, or possibly the bird hide, but that's a little way off to be honest. So I don't know, we'll see. But for now, I'll see you at camp. Do you know what? I swear I've ridden this road before, but I can't have. Can I? Must be a glitch in the matrix. See you at camp. Good morning. Good morning. I managed to make it to the bird hide last night. It was chucking it down. I just absolutely smashed it down that road yesterday. Luckily it was mostly downhill, so it didn't take too long. It wasn't the most comfortable place to sleep. It was more sitting down, head like this. Reminded me of being in school, sleeping at my desk. Had lots of practice at that. Today I'm basically at the end. It's very misty, but it's not raining currently, so we've got about 20-ish miles until we get to the Scotland and England border. This trip has been eventful and probably one of the hardest, most unpredictable trip in a while. Sometimes life just wants to chuck every obstacle in your way. So let's hope there's no more on the way to Gretna. Let's go. I don't know what day it is. 20 odd miles to go. Please work.
An adventure that had it all. Galloway, Scotland, the ups, the downs, the breathtaking beauty, the challenges that pushed me to my limits, and moments of pure magic that I'll never forget. This was an adventure that never stopped giving, and as I cycled these last few miles back to where it all began in Gretna, crossing the Scotland-England border once again, 380 miles of Scottish wilderness, and every single one of them miles completely worth it.